Okay, so thank you for joining this webinar today. So we're talking about Q&A session for virtual book launch. It's one of those times when, of course, you know, everything is important when you're having to launch a book or to even know how a book is launched. I know we have launched it in our creative writing group. We had a launch for a book, and but the process can always change. It's not always the same. And so this is no different. It's just a process in time. And I've got some slides which I'll go through. And if you could bear with me, I'll just let you know the reasons for the Q&A. So question and answer sessions are really good ways to find out about anything, especially from the person who originates certain things or certain events. Ask a question and the answer will be given, because by that way we know that it's genuine. You're getting something back from someone, verbally transmitting something of what they do, what they have found to be useful, and to share with an audience, whether it's a massive audience. We hope that it's a massive audience out there that will be shared too. And so it became useful because book launch is, as you know, part of what I do, exposure book launch. Although it's not the only undertaking or event, because I think that once you become a writer, once you're indulged in writing, other things become equally important to you, because, well, for me anyway, it's like having a taste of an ice cream, and you know, it may be a variety of flavors. There could be vanilla, it could be strawberry, it could be chocolate, and you taste a bit here, a bit of vanilla, chocolate, and so forth, and then which is best for you. So it's the same with exposure book launch, as is a trademark, and it's tasting and seeing what is important and what you like. So because I like book launches, I thought, let me share it with someone or some other people, with an audience. So the first thing here is it's time to launch. Yes. So everybody, it's time to launch. Launch your book. If you have a book out there that you want to launch to the public, launch to a wider audience, this is how it begins. There is a rocket launcher, and it's ready to take you off into the unknown, into the distance. So happy launching. So that's exposure book launch in just a nutshell. And if I move to the next slide. So equally as important is launching this idea, blast off. And it's a fitting way to put your book together, put your minds together. Anybody can put their minds together, and focusing on that is really, really important. It's like shine with your book. So a person may have a particular book, an individual book, which they love, and they want to shine with it. So why not shine with your book? This is where it all happens, at the book launch. It's exclusive to every person. Everyone feels important with their book that they've just written. I remember when I wrote my first book, which was a children's book, I was really so excited. I was over the moon. There was nothing in the world could satisfy my taste as much as my children's book, Going Places. It was just the colors, the covering of it, and just to see the children, something that you put together. It's the same with writing any book. It could be a mystery, it could be a religious book, it could be a fantasy book, or a nonfiction, an autobiography, or a travel writing. There's a whole range of other writings as well. And people write their books, and then I think it's so unfair to have that book locked away in a cupboard, or you may place it on a website and it's there. It's never been launched. Nobody knows about the book except you and the book that knows about the book. So in order to generate others to know about this brilliant piece of art that you've created, then therefore the launch is one of the ways to tell others that here is my book. It's your time. It's your time to shine at your book launch. And at exposure, there is that particular soul presence. Your presence is important and it's really valued. And I think when you are given the time to shine the way you want to shine, like the exclusive right that you own to shine, I think it's a time when everyone should stop, stay back, take one leg or step backwards and allow this time for that author who has the privilege and who has the know-how to bring out their book through publication. And so your book is published. So your book is online, right? And it's begging for something. It's online there, which is important. As you know, technology moves very fast in our world today, and it's online. So it's not just left there. It's occupied. It's a space that the author owns, and it's recognizable. It's recognized. It's in recognition. It's clarity. Say, here I am. I don't want to be gathering dust on a shelf. I don't want to just be written. Maybe years spent in writing a novel, could be months spent in writing a novel, but all the energy that goes into it, why not do something about it? Why not do something about your book that you have, that courage to put through? It takes you through paces so many times. Enrich your writing through the different avenues for the audience out there who want to see that other book, who want to read the other book, that book that has not been written. It wants to be written, and it had been, and now it wants to shine. It has the benefits of that as well, because at Exposure Book Launch, which most of you know about, there are benefits to launch your books. When you launch your book, there are added benefits. It's not one of those launches where individuals, are coerced into doing things, and that's it. They have a launch day, and a launch pad that went along and in support, and there is a big celebration for the launch, but there are other benefits. That's the difference between Exposure Book Launches and other book launches. There are continuity at Exposure. There are so many benefits when you launch, which I will come across and speak about later on. But do use the chat, and please place your ideas and questions that you want to ask, questions that I have not asked or come about in asking, but do place them there. So some of the things that let me move on to pros and cons. Let's not forget the pros. What are the pros? The pros are the benefits, the extra mile, the extra attachments that an author expects from their book. So the pros involves a wider audience. It involves promotion. It involves valuing the author as he or she turns out to be. and it's having a platform, and your book with your name is on a worldwide web. It's on a digital platform worldwide, and it's spread. The word is spread through your book launch. So the pros is having a wider audience, having greater sales for your book, alongside promotion that goes really very well for you and for your book. And the cons for the author is the same. The conditions are just immaculate. You have a contract that lasts for a full year, and you can manipulate that contract. It's all yours. And the pros that's within that will take you to things like support with other book launches. You have other book launches. You have exposure and advantage of going on writing courses, exposures as well with podcasts. These are just some of the things and some of the resources that is put into a book launch from Exposure Book Launch. Not to mention reviews are essentially part of what is of part of the makeup. It's manifold. It teases out the author and the different skills that the author brings to the launch, and also in the writing, because it's their writing that's going to be shining throughout. So that is fantastic. That is great. And so if I then move to the other slide, leverage of thoughts. I believe that writing has a passion, and every author has a passion for their writing. You construct the book. You obviously have it in structures. You have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and you have your idea for your book. So you're writing. It may take you pages and pages before that story begins to formulate and begin to draw your attention, because as the author, you're claiming what is in your book. So the leverage of thoughts that are in your book for your characters, it's just another expression, a wholehearted expression of love and passion for writing that you don't just want to keep for yourself, but you also want to share that with others who will come across your book, and you will never let go of that story, those characters, because they're innate, they're built by you, and it's not just fictional characters we're talking about here. We're talking about non-fictional characters, and these are characters which are easily identifiable with, because in walks of life, you may come across a character that looks so much like your writing and your non-fiction writing. And it's so easy to place that character within that writing. And thinking of that, some of the most important things about non-fictional writings is how an author can, pinpoint step-by-step guide, for example, of books, say step-by-step guide to making the best makeup, or the best tea, or something of those nature. Those step-by-step are relevant. Healthy eating, healthy dieting, those books are real nurtured to not just the young, but also the aged. And constantly, we all need good health. We all need good sleep. We all want proper dreams. And so it's important that when we reflect on our writing, it's our non-fictional writing, our bringing over our thoughts that are not just pertaining to ourselves, but also of benefits to others. They're learning processes, step-by-step learning processes, which will change and make life better for everyone. So thinking of the processes, why would a writer writes a book in one style and not another style? What's their preference? What made it so of a choice? Choice is really so important in writing styles. Is it because of the audience that will buy the book, or the audience that you are writing for? Maybe. And if that's the case, that is really very good, because audience come in different nature, in different, with different talents, different outlook, from different social groups and so forth. So targeting alongside that would be age, appropriate age that you wish to target your book. So the process that any author puts in their book would reveal at some point their readership. And this is where it becomes so important, because a lot of research would go into that. So that's why when it comes on to launching, it's getting these ideas out there for the prospective audience, that there will be and always will be some things that will create and make a difference. And the difference comes within a book launch, and putting your word out there to a new audience, to shape that audience, to shape that readership for time to come. Maybe, perhaps, most likely. So yes, as I was saying, some research help. Why research? Research because we don't have all the answers. Other people have been down this path before. They have encountered what it takes to be who they are, or to write certain book. And they themselves didn't just had the idea and just went into. They also have to research. There are different means by which we can research. So use the means of researches that you have available to you, and create that masterpiece that you want to create. Don't just sit back on your idea. I think once that ideas begins to formulate in your thoughts, maybe getting some support, maybe a friend, or visit some group, relevant group associated with your ideas, and ask, is this idea a suitable one? How do you feel about this? I've done my research, but still, I'm still a bit bothered. I think I'm overwhelmed with this idea. And so maybe more research, maybe watering down what you've written could help station you, pointing into a different direction. It's like branches of a tree. A tree has a huge trunk, and there are many branches, and the branches off in different directions, because it's so important to spread the word around, spread the branches around. If it was all just one branch, that would be a very tired looking tree. That would be not a tree, because all the leaves would be in one place, and we wouldn't have enough sunshine, not enough covering. So it's the same with the book. It's branched off, and it's using research to branch it into different stages, step-by-step process, step-by-step stages. That's what is required. And it's consistency that will lead you there. Yeah, being part of a writing community is one of the most engaging part of writing, to compound that book, to create that book that is in you, a book that you've always wanted to write. So a writing community, we have that at Exposure Book Launch, and it's a way of expressing your thoughts, expressing your thinking with another group member, other group members, because when the expressions of thoughts are shared within the group, it becomes a norm, and That is where support begins. It's nice to write on your own, but it's even better when you can share your thoughts, because you know that there are other people in the writing community are writing on a similar level or are still as helpful. But it's having more than one. It's having a group ethos, commands a process. And with that is sharing the information, is gaining confidence in your writing. Not to put the book down because there is only just you. It's not just you, there is us. And it should be that way. So finding the right source for your book once it's published is crucially important. We come across areas in our writing where there may be a full stop at some place, and then the thought comes in, shall I stop or shall I go? Best to continue, not to look back at where you came from, but to continue. Use the sources that are available. The sources, the resources that are at your fingertips. And it's so easy to overlook the resources that are there. The common thing that sometimes we get wrong is how, looking at the other side and not looking this side that the thought, the thinking, the stimulus is saying to you, here, this is the way, this is the writing group, this is the writing community that you need to be part of. Make use of it, because it's through making that positive step that you will find that you will continue to write. And you may not just write one book, you may write several books, because you kept on the right path, the path to say, yes, I will do that. And the writing community is a place where that is supported. So once you have your book published, your masterpiece published, Exposure Book Launch is here to help you to deliver that. And we mean that, to deliver your book, and not just the book, but you are in the book because you wrote it. And so we're taking your message. You gave a command, and we're taking the command to the wider world. Okay. Okay, so technology plays a big role in whatever we do in the digital marketing world. It elaborates the meaning of our own actions, taking it to a level beyond we would know. And it is with that level that we are focusing different levels of technology, and technology in promoting books, which of course Exposure Book Launch prides itself into that technological age in marketing. It's so positive to know that these different resources of technology are utilized, and every author out there needs to realize the importance of using technology to manipulate the marketing field. And how do they know about your book? How are they going to read your book? It's not going to make a big difference if it's just exclusive in your hand. It must be taken there. And the technological resource that is so massive, continues to breathe positive images in our work, in our readership work, in our writing word. We're taking the writing through technology to a wider audience. And talking about audience, we're talking about the age of technology and looking at how it's growing, and we'll grow with that. It's a positive piece of motivation to grow with technology. It changes every day or nearly every day. New things are designed every day, and it's to get behind those new technologies that will help us not to be left behind. Because if something comes up and it's not being expressed or no one has been told about it, then it's like it just passes over our heads. But bringing those into focus and ensuring that they are highlighted in every aspect of writing and explaining writing, marketing writing, and the technologies that are used to do that are really important. And I think every author who desires to launch their books need to know of the technologies and be also part of it, even contributing their views and saying, oh, I have a choice of the technologies that I will be using, or Exposure Book Launch will be using for me. And so they become part of the technology because they made the approach, and they are being interactive with the technological process that are used. So alongside these are some of the growth of technology. Technology grows, and every author needs to grow with technology. We got e-marketing, e-readerships, and we have physical readerships and a whole lot i-readerships, which every author should be able to draw from them and make choices as to how they launch, what credentials will come alongside their launches, digital launches. The digital world of the books and publication of books are huge and huge benefits to authors. So why not take another step up another level with the digital processes, with the digital technology and the terminologies that are associated with technology, so that they become simple in that they're being used, but their uses have been extended beyond expectation. So at Exposure Book Launch, that's where we are at, is understanding and accepting your resources, accepting you as the resource, and of course your choices in the digital marketing field, where you'll be helped to extend your own book, your fabulous masterpiece that you've written. Social media again. So we have several social media platforms, and a lot of have advantages. I have not yet come across any disadvantage. I have seen positiveness. So why not use take advantage of social media in all aspects, because they're there for our use, they're there to benefit us, and to create a social world, extensive social world where you're linked and grow with others, having a mindset that tells the world that we are, although we are positive about the future, but yet still we will continue, not be a defeatist because of the different technologies or what connections there are. They're all positiveness, and that's where social media and Exposure Book Launch agrees that yes, there is a change, and there is a marketing change, and we are part of the marketing change. We also are part of a chain, a growing chain of lovers of digital media and social media to express and extend. So we want you to be part of that too. Right. So saying that being part of the digital world and technology is bringing out the author in you. Everyone, I believe, has a book in them. And if that book is not yet written, be the first to write it. And I think everyone is complete to do that. And we'll support you with writing your book. And when that's done, and even if you have a book that's written maybe years ago, and you thought, oh, it's forgotten, no one remembers the book that I have written, it is still a fantastic book. I'd like to read it. I like to review it. And I think you should be at a platform where you are on webinars, you're on podcasts, where your voice is expounded through volumes, and others can hear your voices and make use of that and want to be part of your writer journey, a journey that has taken you, how long it has taken you, you know. And it's with understanding. It's actually someone who has been through the process. So I know how important that is to you. And we treat that at the utmost respect, because it is by, you know, your own admission of that precious, that passionate attitude to write. And we go side by side with you along those lines. I will take you there. Okay, so where to find us? We are on social media, but we're not just on social media. We are everywhere, or we try to make ourselves to you, bring ourselves to you, just like having a book and it's published, your precious writing. You don't want to just keep it, you know, on the bookshelf, but you want others to know about it. It's the same way. I want you to find me, to find us as someone who understands, a place where you feel comfortable, a place where you have joy, a place where you feel at ease with your writing, an understanding of your writing. So central is your writing exposure book launch. So we talked about how there is a writing community. We talked about how a launch is so precious and you're exclusive to that launch, and we take your words and we go alongside that and the benefits. So that is your exclusive right. That is your readership that we are engaging in, we are building on, because having that is so important, having your following because of your book. That is great. So what does it cost to launch? Well, before I get to the cost, I think it's so important to look at the value of yourself as an author. You are precious. You are precious than any monetary gains. But alongside that is knowing how important it is to gain that consistency, that constant approach to your writing, and to promote your career as a writer. It's the career that is important, not just something that happened a day or 2 days or a week or a month, but it's a continuous approach to benefit you, to enhance your writing skills. Writing skills are really important. So the benefits of that is on a ratio. So we look at that, we take what you say in advance, and we discuss your cost with you, what it takes. But it's not just the cost, it's the input, it's the benefit that is of importance to you. And we want every person to understand that we're on a writing dialogue, and that dialogue is a journey, and it's an unending journey. It's open all the time, you know. It's a gate that's never closed. So we are there 24/7, and you can find us wherever you wish to find us. There is our contact detail here. So click on this, our website. It gives you all of the directions, and your questions will be answered. And apart from that, when you take up a book launch, by the way, there were 3 different stages or sources of the book launches. There is the premium, and there is a standard, and there is the basic. And they are fundamentally aimed at the author, the writer, the coming authors. So there is this consistency, and we'll always be there to remind you and help you to benefit from what your values. So that is really something of importance. And you also will get a copy of my book when you take out one of the premiums. Then you will have one of the copies. So whichever of your choices, whichever of the costs that you choose for yourself, then you will get a copy of The Depth of Mischief, which is one of my books that I have written. And it's really important to, and I'm overjoyed, and I cannot wait to hear from you, to see you, so we can work together, we can write together, we can launch together. So thank you for listening. So are there any questions?
Well, there's only me here, Belita.
Yes, yeah. I noticed this.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing writing. I'm contributing to the group book, as you know. So I don't think I'll be writing a novel. Well, at least at the moment, I don't have time. So we've got. I mean, but what I was, if I do anything, I think I told you this a couple of years ago. Originally, and I've never got round to it. Originally, my mother used to write poetry, and she's left there's bits and pieces here and there. There's one basic pamphlet book. There's other things of the poetry scattered about. And what I was meant to be doing was putting it together and trying to get it put into a book. So one day I hope to do that, but I keep putting it off, and it's getting down to it and things. So I'm hoping that I will be able to do that. So that's what I would be doing if I did do a book. It'll be a compilation of my mother's poetry, and that's really more benefit from sort of family members and the friends that are still around that knew her, but they are starting to die off. So if I've got to really, if I keep putting it off, it won't be worth doing. But so it's something I would have to try and get on and do. But that's what I plan to do if I did do a book. It's one of my mother's poetry, so it would be her work.
Yeah.
But I've got to collate it all, and then it's got to be put together. But it's something I've kept putting off because I've always had other things to do. You see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting down to doing it, but I'm hoping that I will be able to do that one day. Otherwise, it'll never get done. So I'm hoping that's what I'd be planning to do if I was going to do a book. But
yeah.
Then, if I do that, maybe you can then help me with that. Yeah. So I'd have that. But at the moment, I'm trying to concentrate on doing pieces and get together what I'm going to submit for our group book. There's only a couple of months now, isn't there?
Yes, not too long to go now.
The end of October, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, but I'm going to research one, maybe 2 things. But I have been writing one that's more in my mind today, and I've done some work today on it and everything. One of the coffee shops in the town, I was writing some stuff there on it. So I'm getting that together now, one piece.
Yeah. Okay. So the your mom's poems, the mother's, are there a lot of poems that she wrote?
Well, I wouldn't say a lot, but quite a fair few. You know, there's enough to make up a small book, really. I would have thought if I can get them all together, that some of them are already in a pamphlet book that she had done for probably about 12 years or so back by a couple. But there's quite a lot of others she's done before and since that weren't in it. But they're all scattered on bits of paper, you see, and I put them away and that, but I haven't really got round to sorting them out properly, so I'd have to go through and collate them. So, but there'll be enough to do a small book of poetry.
Yeah. Oh,
But
okay. Yeah.
but the idea is not really to do it properly, it's just for the family and friends that you are. But I mean, if it was going to be launched, then it could be available to be sold for anyone
Yes.
else who wants to buy it. And then if it ever got to it and I did launch it, I'd invite all the people, the family and all that to come along to support it. Because I think if you don't come, you can't expect anyone else to come, because it was just, you know, I'm doing it mainly for the people who knew her. So, you know, to the people who knew her, that they'll be the main ones. So like one of the ladies who came on before, when
Yeah.
we did that, she did know my mother. So she'd be obviously someone to invite, because she did come before. The other lady didn't know, but one of them did know her. And I've got cousins, obviously, who want to come. So I would, you know, try and get a few of them to come along.
Yeah. Of
Yeah.
course.
But
Yeah.
that's looking ahead. That won't be till next year or beyond, whatever.
All right. Okay. Well, that's promising, Stephen. Hmm.
But that's what I would be doing first if I was going to do a book of my own. Would be
Yeah.
back to my mother's poems but thanks on that. And then of course, if I did that, for me it would be useful because I could have all her poems in one place, you see, rather than just a small amount at the moment. They could all be in one place, so it would benefit me. But if anyone else wanted to buy it, but obviously I would need to keep the cost down of the book. So because, you know, otherwise people wouldn't want to get it. It's made primary though to the family and the friends that are left that you are and be interested in what she wrote. So,
Okay. All right. That's good. Yes. Yeah. I look forward to reading the poems.
yeah. So if
Yeah.
I could do that, obviously I'd have to, you know, decide what plan to go for and all that. I've got to have the money as well, and I've got to get the stuff together. So you won't be you'll be talking next year at least, because at the moment I've got to concentrate on getting pieces for the group book, because that's more imminent anyway.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Me, I've got some things written, and I've got to provide some more as well. Yeah. So,
Are you writing a novel at the moment? Are you
yes,
processing?
but yes, I am.
Yeah, but it
Um,
takes a lot of time, doesn't it, though?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does. It does. It does. It's making time, but I'm getting there.
Mm.
I'm getting there, and I'm going to having to, as you talk about the group book, Relate and Friends group book. Is yes, getting that writing together. I've got some together, got some poems, got some new poems, and I I don't think I want to share um the information writing from the book that is not published yet published. So
No, you don't need to.
yeah,
No.
I'll get my own articles this time.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, for that.
Has anyone else submitted anything yet?
Um,
That Beth came on.
Beth has
She
and
said poems, didn't she?
AJ
Mm.
has, and who else has? Beth, AJ. And those are the only two so far.
But you'll be reminding people as we approach the
Yes.
deadline. So yeah, I'm sure you'll get more submissions.
Yeah.
Mm.
And what I'll do as well, I'll like I did last year, is to send out the chats, so that can
Okay.
jog memories, so you can
Yeah,
use the
yeah,
chats to help
yeah.
to write.
Yeah. Okay.
All right then. So
Yeah, well,
yeah, but
thank you very much, Alita, for that. Anyway,
that's all right. That's all right. Sorry that more people couldn't be here.
well,
Maybe.
I'm sorry for you because you've put a lot of effort into these presentations
Oh yeah.
to do it all, and when the hard part of my no one else comes, it's a lot of effort just for me. But we've been here before, haven't we? But yeah, you can only advertise it if it's that when it
Yes.
comes. But yeah.
And it's holiday season, so people might have gone on holiday, you know.
Yeah, it's
They
a
could,
bank
yes.
holiday weekend, and it's a
Yeah.
different time to the usual time, so maybe that's thrown people, yeah, or they've forgotten about it. Because we normally do it fortnightly, don't we? So,
Yeah.
yeah, no,
So
be back
could
to
be anything.
could
But
be
maybe next time I'll start a little bit early, like 6:30.
yeah, maybe,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe,
6:30. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right then, Stephen.
Yeah, okay then, Louise. Well, hope you have a good weekend then.
Yes, all right then.
I'll see you next Friday. Thanks very much. Yeah.
Thank you.